All righty. Welcome, everybody, to the Hobby CNC with Dave show. I appreciate you being here tonight because I know that it is college football Saturdays. I appreciate you coming to hang with us, or maybe you got the TV on in the background, but that's okay too. So anyway, let me bring my crew in here. We got my sidekick, Wolfman, here is with me tonight. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, I'm doing good.
And we got Mr. Paul is with us again. How you doing, Paul?
Great.
And we also have Sean hanging in with us tonight too.
Everybody.
All righty. Tonight, I am going to, of course, we'll take whatever questions pop up. But I had somebody send me an email with a question the other day, and I thought, well, instead of just answering that one person and typing a bunch of stuff out or sending them a link to a video or whatever, I would just answer the question and show tonight. And I think it'll make a lot more sense than trying to explain it just by typing out an answer. So we're going to do that first. But before I get carried away here, let me come to over here. Tonight on our giveaway, we are going to be giving the original Jenny, which is the compression bit, 1/4 inch compression bit. And you can start putting in your hashtag if you want in on that at hashtag 8675309. So that'll be the hashtag for the drawing tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this YouTube off here. I don't think I'm going to need that. So this poor computer, it's I hope the sound during that intro was much better than what I was hearing. Of course, I'm on this little Bluetooth headset thing here, but it was just all garbly and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's just me.
That was good.
It sounded terrible to me. So anyway, I think I see Harry out there. This is from Harry. He says, Dave, could you tell me how to set up Mach3 to reference all home, the y-axis to the rear of the machine? So yes, I can do that, and I can do it real easily by showing this here. So I'm going to turn this other camera on. In fact, let's see if we can do it with something like this. Well, I don't know. That may not be the best way to do it just yet. Let me turn that one back off. Do it like this for a second. I've got the machine fired up here. I've got it. I wish there was a way to use layouts. I'm going to leave it like it. Ryan, you can swing the layouts around to whatever works best for what I'm showing. But I've got this thing fired up, and I thought before I would show how, because this machine, as it's set up, when you reference all home, it will, the first thing that happens is the Z will go up. You can see the little proximity switch here. So that's the oh, I probably better, I hate to, but I probably better change my mic to put it on this real crummy sounding thing.
Ooh. You're kind of breaking up there. Oh, no. Go back to your other one.
Yeah.
You sound like a robot.
Dave, you can't hear anything. I understand R2-D2 better. Nope. Don't catch it at all now.
Okay, I'll just try
There
to
we
talk.
go.
Try to talk loud. Let me know if for some reason you can't hear me. I'll try to talk loud. But anyway, when you hit reference all home, this thing will raise up. So, you know, reset, makes connection with that proximity switch. Then the y-axis in this case comes forward. I have, yeah, you can't really see it until I do the side camera. I'm going to home it first.
I'll
and
switch over.
we'll see. But anyway, it'll come up. There's a proximity switch on the front of these uprights. You see these little adjustable things here. So what they do is they not only come up, but one will, if I had it really racked, which it isn't, but if I had it racked, it would come up and this one would hit and that one would keep going. So it would square the gantry and then it would come off. And then finally the x-axis will move to this corner right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit reference all home so you can see that. Now let's see it. Okay, Ryan, if you could switch to this side, this other camera right here, just for a sec. Just drag it over. There you go. All right, so you can see right here is one of the switches, and again, it's one of those proximity type switches there. And if I bring this up and you look down, you can see there's also one on the back side of this upright. So there's one here and there's one here. Now, on the other side of the machine, the far side of the machine, there is only one here. And that's because, like I said, it's set up to come to the front and then the left-hand side like that. This one right here, this back here, is basically just an over travel switch that will keep it going too far backwards, which I really never hit. Okay, as far as the back here, if you look close, and I can't point for you to see it, but right about there is a proximity switch, and there's just one, and then you can see a little block over there on that side. And then it uses the same switch. If it comes over here, when it hits this block, it'll stop this way. So this one will act like an over travel. And of course, that one will act like an over travel or a homing switch there. So now that we see how it works with this machine, let me, and I guess y'all could hear me halfway decent with me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's share my screen here. See if I've got this still open. Oops, there we go. Okay, now this computer that I'm on right now to do this live stream is not what's running that machine. It's that computer over there. But I've got this same, if you look down here where it says profile, this is the same machine profile as what I use there. It's the machine profile for this Avid CNC. So if I wanted this to reference the Y going to the back of the machine, like Harry's asking here, all I would have to do is come in here to config, go to homing limits, and if we take a look at this, we can see that the x-axis when you come right here, let me open this up a little bit more so you can see. There we go. It says home negative. And what that means is, do you want your machine to home in the negative direction? Well, in this case, it is, because it's coming, the x-axis is going from right to left to home. So that's the negative direction. So that's why that has a green check there. Same thing with the Y for the, there's two stepper motors on either side of this for the Y axis, and they use Y and B. So you'll see that both of those also have a check that say home negative. So in other words, when the table's say in the middle of the machine, like it was when I first homed it, it's going to come forward, which is the negative direction. So if I wanted to, I'm hearing all kinds of noise in this speaker. Somebody got something on?
I hear white noise.
I mean, it sounds like I'm hearing a TV or something. I don't know. Anyway, for the y-axis and the b-axis, since they want it set up to come forward, that has a check, so it's going to home in the negative direction. So like Harry says, how do you get it to reference all home going to the back of the machine? I would just take the check off of there and off of there, and now it's going to home in the positive direction. So in this case, if I wanted to, like I mentioned, there's only one switch, and that's at the front here, and that is to square the gantry when it comes forward. But if I wanted it to do the same thing, but only at the back of the machine, I could take this switch off and this little adjustable bolt here and move it to the back of the machine. And there's also, even though this upright right here does not have two switches, it does have the holes for both switches. So I would just take this switch off and move it to the back side, which is like back here where I showed earlier. And then when I home it, it would, instead of coming forward, it would go backwards. By the same token, if I wanted to move the x-axis, where instead of homing over here on this side, on the left-hand side, I wanted it to home on the right-hand side, I could just take that check mark off of there and say, okay, I no longer want it to home in a negative direction. I want it to home positive. And it would now home the way I have it set currently. It would now home to the back and to the right. And also, you'll notice that the z-axis that wasn't checked green, you don't want it to home in the negative, because it's going to stop when it hits that table anyway. So you always want it to home in the positive direction and go up. But anyway, that's how you would do it. It's not hard at all. The only thing is, you got to remember, if you change something here, it's only going to work if you've got a switch on the other end that you're trying to go to. In my case, I couldn't just switch these buttons and these check marks in Mach3 and go, okay, let's hit home. Because when it goes home, that one side that's got the switch would work, but the other side would keep trying to go because it's trying to square up that gantry and there's no switch. I would have to take that switch and move it to the other side of that upright.
Now, if you wanted to, you could add a switch too, right?
Yes, you could do that too. You could add a entirely new switch, but there's really no need to add more switches than what you're going to use, I think, anyway. And I do like the fact that, as I mentioned, on the x-axis, how they have that one proximity switch basically in the center behind the x-axis carriage. or Z-axis carriage, depending on how you like, whatever you like to call it. And then it just has blocks on either end, and that uses the same limit switch and or homing switch to trip when it goes back and forth. So I think if Harry, I think you're out there. If that answers your question, let me know. I think, like I said, it's really not that hard to do. It's really easy to set up in Mach 3. The main thing, like I said, is you have to make sure you have a switch that's wherever it's going. So if you tell it to go to the back, you better have a switch back. So, all righty. Let's see. Okay, Harry said, okay, yeah, he's not the Harry that asked that question. That's right. You're not. I just saw the name Harry and I thought, oh yeah, he's here. But okay, so yeah, that's not the same Harry that asked me the question. But maybe he'll show up and watch this. Who knows?
Yeah.
But there we go.
This is not the Harry you were looking for.
Jedi Master.
It was a Star Wars joke, Dave. You wouldn't know that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't because I'm not a Star Wars fan. Okay, let's see. Ray says, how do you know if you are using the right post processor? Is there a good test to know that the post processor is working the best for you? I have a GarageWorks. Well, if you have a GarageWorks, you know what post processor to use because I tell you. It's just, the GarageWorks just uses a simple, just like the GAT and CNC. You just use the Mach 3, the basic Mach 3 arc inches, or if you're a metric person, you would use the metric. So it'd be millimeters. So one of those two, whichever you like to work in, whether it be inches or metric.
Weirdos.
Wait, that's where I fit in, Ryan, because I use both. The Vetric, I'm in inches, but the Mach 3 I have it set in millimeters. But what I love about Vetric is you choose. As you export it, you can export it in millimeters, and it works perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so let's.
Hey, before we go on, we need to acknowledge our buddy JR.
Yeah, good old
There's
JR.
no place like X0, Y0, Z0.
No place like home. That's what he's saying. Yeah, no place like home. All right, well, I'm gonna count on you guys to fill some time because I'm gonna have to move that back out of the way and set up for the next little demonstration. But before I do that, let's give away a Jenny bit. What do you say? Let's give away a Jenny bit. I've got the.
You're going to lose all your audience.
You know what? I bet not.
Well, it'll be a good test, won't it? We'll know whether they're really here to try to learn something or if they're just here for the freebies. So we're going to give away this Jenny bit. Hashtag is 8675309. We've got 59 in the drawing so far. If you want to get in on it, put it in quick. And we will give this sucker away real quick before I set up the rest of the stuff. All right, looks like it's staying at 59. So here we go, folks. Good luck to everybody. And here we go.
Go, 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 go.
Landis Stutes.
Nice.
Landis Stutes. Congratulations, Landis. I'm pretty sure he's a first-time winner. I think so. So congratulations. And let me show the other stuff. We also have to give a shout-out to Cody.
Yeah.
This is where you want to contact him at www.cadencemfgdesign.com and hook up with Cody with an email. Just hit the contact form or something and let him know your shipping address, and he will get that Jenny bit to you. So congratulations again to Land of Suits. And thank you so much, Cody, for being the sponsor of our live giveaway every single week. And speaking of every single week, I counted up today. This is the, well, at the first of the year, the very first Saturday of the year was January 1st because New Year's Day fell on Saturday. So I didn't do a live stream then. On the following Saturday, the 8th, I did the live stream, which wasn't technically a Hobby CNC with Dave show. It was the show about the Cat and CNC Christmas Challenge of 2021. But ever since then, we have not missed a week. So this is, well, if you want to count January 8th, this is like 35 weeks in a row we've been here. So haven't missed a one yet. So we'll try to keep the streak alive. So anyway, congratulations, Landis. Contact Cody. And if you guys, I'm going to count on somebody here to fill some time while I get the, I'll pull that one off, while I get this next thing set up.
Hey, Sean.
What? Yes, sir.
All right, so everybody started all at once.
Nice lantern. Nice lantern. Yeah, they're fun to do. Yeah.
So we need everybody in the comments to go ahead and put the hashtag in again. That way it pushes all the congratulations out of the way, and then all the new people that show up late won't know that we already did the giveaway.
I'll bite.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, so Paul, yeah, you did yourself a little lantern box there, huh?
I did, and as soon as I got it done, I sent Dave a picture of it.
Good one. Well, we've been having fun.
They are fun to make. They're
That's simple and enjoyable.
yeah.
So Josh was asking how my shop is coming along. The shop at the moment is really in a standstill, and because I have to order my doors, and the doors I'm actually ordering them tomorrow, and they're 4 to 8 weeks of lead time before I have to make an 8-hour trip to go pick them up. So the shop's kind of, I've had to move some stuff into it just to get it out of the field because the farmer wants to spray the field and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of at a standstill at the moment. There has been some progress on the scoreboard though, which is pretty nice. I've been doing some test printing of some bits and pieces, and today I printed out parts 18 of the 1,023 parts that are required to make the whole light pod thing go. So a little while there eventually.
How many spools of PLA do you think that's going to take?
It's a little over 4 altogether.
You are making
there's
it
really
out
3
of PLA.
parts.
Is that correct?
Yeah. So there's 3 parts to the thing. It's the little pod that looks like the original one. So there's the original style and the one that I created.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty close. And then I have to order some translucent PLA to make these little discs to make a little diffuser. There's over a whole spool of just these. So, and, it's only 2 millimeters tall and all that. And then the third part is it's like a little base that I got my LEDs in, so you can kind of see how it fits up in there.
Now, have you powered them
Into
up
the
yet?
back.
Or
No, the power supply is actually on its way, and it should be here. It'll probably be here Tuesday.
that ain't too bad.
Yeah, so I need to find out, one, if there'll be enough light coming through this, and if not, then I've also designed one that is just the diffuser will just fit right up
Right
in
over
there like that, and just have a solid one. But my hope is that I can keep the original style and do it that way.
That's gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
I've got a new one.
Yeah, so.
The my rotary. Now this is a good one because in Mach 3 I set up for the rotary, and then when I did my auto tool, it saved it to my other Mach 3, which was different. So when I went to run a flat today, I buried the bit. It's been a long time since I buried a bit. So that was different. I've never seen a profile switch from one to the other until now. So I don't know if it's because I copied my Mach 3 settings from one to the rotary, or if I just need to start from scratch on it.
Did you clone it?
Yes, and I think that's where I made the mistake.
Okay.
Because whenever I do when I go into the script and change the Z height, yeah, it switches over to both.
Oh, well, yeah. Here's the problem. The script is not in the machine profile.
Okay, it's
In other words, if you have a machine for a CNC router profile here, and you have the script set to do Z height this, and then you clone that and save it as a rotary machine profile, and then you edit the script.
That's
You're
what I did.
editing. You
Both.
have that one script, and you're editing that script. Yeah,
I found out the hard way.
It doesn't work. I wish it did work like you thought it did, where it does it both ways, but it doesn't do that. There's only one script, so when you edit it for the rotary, you got to re-edit it when you go back to run the CNC.
Makes sense. I figured that out the hard way. Thank God I didn't break the bit. The moment I hit the bottom, it was my hands were on the reset.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll know.
All right, I've got this thing set up, and we'll move the camera over there for just a second. But I see a couple more questions. Let's get this one here. John says, I have millimeter ball screws. I save G codes in millimeter and run Mach 3 in millimeter. Can I run inch codes with millimeter ball screws? Yes. As long as you have your steps per unit set, your Mach 3 doesn't really care whether you have millimeter ball screws or inch ball screws or what you have. As long as you have the steps per unit set up so that it's going to move. If you want it to move 3 inches or 100 millimeters, whatever you're using, it needs to move. You have your steps per unit set to move the right distance. But as far as the code, you can run it in whatever you want to, if you have that other set up correctly. Let's see here. Have I missed any other questions? I don't see any.
I started them.
Okay. Okay. Well, you've answered about the shop, right? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think there's a question from Raymond Dixon about what power supply are you using. I'm assuming that's the one for me for the LEDs.
Okay.
I'm doing a 5-volt 30 amp power supply. So it's a little overkill for what I needed, but it was like $3 more than the 20 amp one, which would suffice. So
Okay.
to work. It's better
All right.
than the 12-volt 180 amp ones that were in there originally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna call that one answered then. Let's see. Can you import an STL into Design Spark mechanical software? I want to modify Sean's clamps that he put on here, but don't know how to. You can bring a STL into Design Spark, but it looks like an STL. It's all a bunch of triangles. You're probably not going to be able to modify it. You would need, in order to do it in Design Spark, you would need to get it from an STL to a step file, and then bring that step file in there and modify that. And if it's locked, which a lot of times the step files are locked when you first bring them into Design Spark Mechanical, you can unlock them. And I have a video showing how you can do that, and then save them as just a Design Spark Mechanical file. And then you can modify it and do whatever you want to.
Or you could really cheat and just use Tinkercad.
Okay.
It would work.
I don't know anything about Tinkercad, so.
Yeah.
Tinkercad's a neat program.
It's basic, but you can pull in an STL and really edit it.
Oh, okay. Well, then
There's
that
not-
would be the way to go then.
Yeah. Not a lot of features in it, but for that, it would work fine.
Okay. All righty. Let's see. Another question here. Dave or Ryan, either of you done anything with your revolutions lately? I have not. And I don't think he's been pretty busy. So he's talking about the Bob CNC revolution.
Yeah. I was actually down there messing with it, moving it around today, but no, I haven't had a chance to do anything else with it yet. But it's going to be used here shortly. Yeah, with the shop and everything, it's been. I haven't done any kind of CNC stuff recently.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with it since I did that last video, which was the Jack Daniels bottle thing. And in fact, that machine's not even in here in the shop anymore. It's around back in my other shop. But if anybody is wanting me to see, want me to do something or show something with it, there's enough interest in that. I can drag it back around here and just set it right on this tabletop, back here, and bring the laptop. Well, yeah, bring the laptop that I use to run it, or I could probably connect it to this, the cabled reach, if I set it right here behind me. So just let me know if anybody's wanting to see something like that. I don't know if there'd be enough interest in that to do that or not, but if so, we can do that. But all right, let me get this. Go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry, I was just going to say I had actually been prototyping a piece for that for my revolution. So it's
cool.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully there's a video that'll come out on that, and I'll show you guys what this really is for. But it's supposed to be for the revolution.
Little box creator action.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to set this up and I'll adjust this
That's
camera. Here.
gorgeous. I love stuff like this.
Now you'll have to I may need to back this up just a little bit and get it all in there, I guess. Let me know when I start showing stuff if that's not close enough, and I'll zoom it in closer. But what I wanted to do is, and I've done a video on this very topic before, but I still see all the time on the different Facebook groups, people still having trouble, and they'll get their phone and take some shaky video of their motor doing this or that, and they're like, it's doing this. What can cause it? And I was telling Paul earlier, it drives me nuts because some people will always give them the wrong answer. They always say, oh, well, you need to go check your settings and stuff. And let me tell you, folks, if you don't get anything out of what I'm saying tonight, but this one thing, remember this. If your machine worked last week and it worked this week, and then next week, all of a sudden, it's going to have one of these symptoms that I'm going to show here in just a second. When you post your little shaky video on Facebook and somebody says, oh, you need to check your settings, just scroll on past. Ignore that. There are no little gremlins that crawl into your computer and change settings when you're not watching. It's not that. So, and there's always somebody that says, oh, you need to check it. No, if it worked before, worked yesterday, worked an hour ago, and all of a sudden it starts doing it. The only way it's the settings is if the user itself went in there and monkeyed around and changed some settings. But anyway, I've got this, and I have to put this over here, but you can see I've got a piece of tape. There's the x-axis spinning around. This is slave, just like it would be on a Cat and CNC or an Avid or whatever, where you get the Y and the A. And then I've also got a Z moving there too. But what I want to do is I want to show you what the symptoms look like when you have different bad connections. And if you know what these are, it's really easy to troubleshoot. Not any problem at all. So I'm going to grab me a trusty little screwdriver here, and I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to take a wire loose. And we're going to go, I think this top one is the x-axis, I think. We're going to pretend it is anyway. So I'm gonna remove one of these wires right here. That, in fact, I'm going to remove this blue one. And I'm going to pull it out, and that's the 5-volt pulse. So if I pull that out, yeah, I really got that thing in. Okay. So there you can probably see it, I think. I got the blue wire loose. So now we're going to turn this thing back on again. And I will try to jog the X. Okay, you can see it moving. It's moving clockwise. Okay, that must not have been the X. I thought it was. Oh, okay, there you go. You see, yeah, okay. Well, let me put that back because I want to use the X. It's easier. It's easier when you're just trying to keep your eye on one of them. It's been so long since I used this board. I guess it goes X, Y instead of X, Y this way. So messed around and took the one off. So we'll put it back in. And by the way, I should have mentioned, I guess, that this is just kind of a typical setup. You know, I got this power supply here is not even really being used. It's this 48 volt power supply, a breakout board. I'm using a UC 100 connected here. It's connected to the computer that I'm using for this live stream. And I just got the 110 coming in, and then I'm pulling some 110 off of this little terminal block here. And a lot of this stuff on here is not even being used because I don't have anything. I don't have limit switches. I don't have touch plate. I do have this e-stop, which is connected. But other than that, it doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles. And what I'm about to show you, this would be true with whether you've got a kind of a home built system like this, or an Avid CNC, or a Axiom, or pretty much any of them are all going to be, if they have drivers, they might not have this exact same driver, but they're going to have something like that as far as the connections. And so what I'm showing you as far as the symptoms of these bad connections, that's going to be the same thing really for any of them. So let me, I want to just check and make sure. Okay, yeah, those, by putting that in, that's paid that back right again. So let me cut this off again. And now I'm going to go down here. Now that I know that this is the X. And again, I'm going to remove that blue wire, which is the pulse. Stick it back in there, just leaving that wire. And now also too, I guess y'all are smart enough to figure out that I'm totally removing the wire, but this would be the same thing as if there's a break in that wire someplace, is what I'm trying to simulate here. So we've got the one of the pulse wires out of that for the X. And now if I try to jog the X, you'll see it does absolutely nothing, because it's not going to work without both of those wires connected. Okay. So if you're jogging your stuff around and one of the, all the axes work except one, and it's not doing anything, that might be what it is. Check your wire connections. When I say check, don't just look and go, well, they look like they're connected. Kind of tug on them, pull on them a little bit, and make sure, because you should be able to pull on them really pretty good without them coming out of here. This one here is not usually one of the problems I see, though. It's usually one of the other two that I'm about to show you. All right, so you got that one back in. Let's turn it on. Try it again, make sure it's back working. Okay, it's going clockwise there. Okay, that's still not up. Something happened. Maybe I didn't get it all the way in there, because now it's not. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Dave.
Check your settings.
Now, what it was is moving this mouse, I have to be clicked into the Mach3 screen. If I'm clicked into the StreamYard stream, it won't work. And I had bumped the mouse, so it wasn't. So there we go. It's working fine. Okay. Now, these other two symptoms are going to be more what you'll see this, when this problem occurs. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to take, well, wait a minute, I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to go back to this plug here, and I'm going to remove this yellow wire right here, and that is one of the directional wires. And who can guess and tell me what's going to happen when that wire is removed? Anybody got a guess?
Definitely not going to know which direction it's going.
This is This is something I see all the time on Facebook. Okay, let me make sure I'm clicked into that screen. Okay, so I'm going to try to move the X with one of the direction wires disconnected. If I move it slow enough, you can see that it's moving counterclockwise. And you can't see my hand to see where I'm. Maybe you can if I do this. I'm pushing the right arrow, and it's moving counterclockwise. Now I'm going to push the left arrow, and guess what? It's still moving counterclockwise. So when you have one of those direction arrows, a bad connection, or it's disconnected somewhere, and it could be a lot of places. It could be, you'll notice these go from here, these white wires go through this hole on this board, and then they go to these stepper motors, which are down here. So it could be in that long length of wire that you have in your drag chain. You know, it might have a break in it or something like that. But I see this all the time on Facebook, and it's really very simple, because if you try to jog your machine and it jogs one way and you move to jog it the other way and it keeps going the same way, that is always what it is. That's just the way it works, folks. That's always what it is. There's no setting BS, none of that. It's always one of these directional wires. So let me attach that one back. Ryan, are we getting any questions about what I'm showing here as I'm doing it, or I don't want to get too far ahead?
Yeah. No, you're good. There was somebody that was actually asking like that exact question when you were doing it. So that was it was like you're omniscient.
Okay. Yeah, it's and like I said, if your machine was working fine when you turned it off yesterday, and you come and turn it on today, and it's one axis is only moving in one direction, no matter which key you push, it is not the settings. It is a bad connection on your direction wire, either here at the driver, at the stepper motor, or unfortunately somewhere in between. And again, that could, in my case on this thing, it's a real short path. But on a real machine, it's going to be going through some drag chain and who knows what. So it may be more difficult to do. Okay, so now when I push the right arrow key, it's back moving clockwise. And when I push the left arrow key, it's now moving counterclockwise. All right. And you'll notice I'm turning this off and not trying. You don't want to try to swap any of these wires out or anything while it's powered up. I mean, you might get away with it and not short anything out, but then again, you might not. So always power it off before you start messing around with stuff like this. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, these wires right here are the coil wires. You've got your A coil and your B coil, and they go through here. Like I said, they go to the stepper motor. You know, so there could be a break anywhere there, but I'm going to pull just one of these off so that one of the coil, let's see, it's going to be the B coil. I'm just pulling this one off because it's the easiest one to get to. So there. Now, can anybody guess what symptom I'm going to have now when I do this? No guesses from the panel?
It's not going to work. It's not going to work at all.
Okay, well, let's see what it does. One of the coil wires is off.
Oh, off.
on the B, you got your A coil and your B coil. Half of the B coil has a bad connection because one of the wires is disconnected. So if we watch closely,
Shattered. Oh,
now just to tell you, if you look closely, sometimes it moves clockwise, sometimes it moves counterclockwise. But guess what? I'm pushing the same key. I'm not switching it back and forth. See how sometimes it goes clockwise, sometimes it don't know where the heck to go. Because those coils, it's only got a coil and a half, energized. The other half of the B coil is not energized, so it doesn't know what to do. And a lot of times it will make an even worse noise. And let me go ahead and show that as well. I'm going to go ahead and take the other wire of the B coil off and see what it can do with just the A coil. Make sure those wires aren't going to touch while I do this. Okay, now I'm going to hit the right arrow key again. Okay, again. I'm not switching keys again. I'm just pushing the same key, and you see sometimes it goes clockwise, sometimes it goes counterclockwise. And I'm actually surprised that it's running that smooth because normally it will just sound like it's grinding gears in there. In fact, I was trying to get it to do that. I can't get it to do it. Yeah, it's just, but it won't stay consistent the way it spins. It's going, and I think one reason why it seems like it's spinning smooth is because there's nothing on that. It's not connected to an axis. If it was, it would be shaking. But because it's
Dave, why don't you try grabbing it and then hit the button,
well,
give it a little bit of a. Can you reach?
little resistance.
You can't really.
Okay, I want to know what motors those are.
They're good ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Even trying to hold it, now I got the tape on.
No, I had the same thing happen on my
D. You can feel it. You can feel it, shaking like that. But it's still got enough torque that it's hard to hold with your fingers. But you can clearly see just with the visual that sometimes pushing the same there, now it's going the other way. There. See that little shake?
Yep.
If I hit the button real quick, maybe I've got this thing. Let me try something here. Try to slow it down a little bit. See if that helps with the. All right, let's see if I can. Oops, am I in the? Yep, now I broke it.
All right, let's troubleshoot.
It must not. I must have. What did I do here? Oh, I think that's. May have changed the wrong thing.
That sounds different too.
Yeah, it's just like it. Compare it to when I moved the Z. Hear how nice and smooth that is. And this one it's just not acting right. But that's the three symptoms. Like I said, the first one, you have a pulse wire, bad connection. It's not going to do anything. It's not even going to move. The other two, it'll move, but won't change direction when you change directions. And then the other one is it will change direction and plus it'll probably be really shaky. So like I said, it's not connected to anything, so it's not going to really show that here.
Hey, Dave, Dwayne has a good, interesting thought on this. Could it be depending on where the armature stopped, where, like, which pole is closest, like making it change the direction?
Makes
It sounds
sense.
like it would be a good possibility. It makes sense to me, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because, like I said, you've got a pole on each side or a coil on each side. I've got one of them totally disconnected, so it's just running off of that one. So if it's close enough to that other one, but it's to get there, it's got to go the wrong way. That's the way it goes. And that, of course, is not the way we want it to. But anyway, I also have if somebody wants to come back and reference this, instead of coming here and watching this long live stream, I've got a video on my YouTube channel, which is right at 2 years old now. So you'd have to go back, but it's about a 6.5 minute video, and I'm showing this exact same thing. So if you want to use this as a reference, but don't want to watch the live and have to find it, you can look for that video. In fact, I should have put a link to that video in this in the video description here. Okay, let's see if I can get this back right now. Yeah, now you can hear how much smoother it sounds. It's just, so, I hope somebody got something out of this. Like I said, I see this kind of stuff on Facebook groups all the time. And it's really not that hard a problem to diagnose. If you just, first of all, quit going to Facebook with your little shaky video. Just start checking your connections. That should be the first thing you check. Do not check your Mach3 settings. They're fine. If they worked before, they're fine now. But yeah, just and like I said, if it's kind of sounding like a grinding noise, you've probably got one of the coils is not right. If you've got one of the direction wires with a bad connection, it's only going to go one way no matter which button you push. Really easy to figure out. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll see. Let me get rid of that. I'll see if I can find that video, and I'll post that link in the here in the chat, and then I'll also later on post it in the description down there, because it's a whole lot easier to watch that. Because like I said, the whole video's less than 7 minutes, I think, and I show all three of those things just like I did here, and it took a whole lot less time. So in fact, if you go to my YouTube channel and search They've gotten trouble. Shoot. I think that's probably all you got to put in there. Yep. Well, no. Wow, I've done a bunch of videos about troubleshooting, but not that particular thing. Well, shoot, I thought that would find it. I found it earlier today. I thought it's
Now we're gonna have
from
to troubleshoot the
it's
stuff.
from just about right at 2 years ago. Oh, I know what I put. Instead of putting troubleshoot, let me put stepper. I think that's what I used to find it before. Well, if I can get this this poor old computer. It's super slow.
Making it work for its money today.
Yeah.
Troubleshooting
Again,
stepper
I'm not-
motor connections.
Yeah. Have you got the link?
I got it. I'll throw it up.
Yeah, throw it out. Throw it in the chat there. Because, like I said, that's a much shorter video to watch than this here.
Much out.
All right.
There you guys go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's called Troubleshooting Stepper Motor Connections 2 years ago. But I will add that to the video description. It's been watched a few times, so. But it's so old now, people forget that I did it or don't know that I did it. And they go to Facebook for their answers. Which, sorry, folks, that's not always the best way. Not to say the Facebook groups aren't great, but let's see.
Got a couple questions that we can do whenever you got time.
Okay, I am looking at them now. Let's go down the list here. Our friend from Sweden says, anyone use multi-workspace G54, G55, G56? I don't use them a whole lot, but I have right here. I have some. Let's see. We'll get rid of this. I have some visual aid training things. If anybody wants me to show something like that, how to use that, if they don't know how to use them, I made these up, and I was able to show somebody that was here on site how the offsets work. And I've used stuff like that before during live streams and videos and stuff. It's almost impossible for me to make a live stream or a video and talk about something that I haven't talked about before. Because, I keep telling you folks, a lot of you, probably haven't known me that long. I say known like we've met, but, seen me on YouTube. Even if you've seen me for 5 years, I've been on a lot longer than that. So it's hard for me to come up with a topic to show something that I haven't shown 2 or 3 times already before. But it's still relevant because there's always new people getting into this that weren't into it before.
Oh yeah.
Again, let me know if anybody wants me to show that do a little presentation on how to do the G54 or 55 stuff, we can do it. It wouldn't take long. Okay, let's see this question. Hamilton, Mr. Make Timber himself. Have you been watching him? He's doing make timber on the month of September. He's done 3 videos so far. I watched
Really?
watched the one this morning. It was fantastic. If you're not already subscribed to Hamilton Dillbeck, go over there and subscribe. It's worth it just for the laughs. But good guy. Let's see. He says, Dave Catton, as someone who has absolutely no idea what you're doing, I feel like you're someone who can help me get an ATC going on my Onefinity. Now, I have no doubt I could, because I'm pretty good at tinkering with stuff. But are you talking about a store bought or you know, an ATC? Is it something that Onefinity's making now, or are you talking about a DIY kind of thing, or are you talking about buying an automatic tool changer from somebody else and adapting it to the Onefinity, whatever? Anyway, regardless of what it is, I would love to come out and hang out with you and take her around and see if we can figure the thing out. I bet we could. Let's see here. Ray says, is there a way to reduce the heat that the stepper motors generate? Well, yes and no. They're going to get hot. Now, if you've got the driver set where you're putting more amps through them than you should, then you got a problem. They're going to get smoking hot, or so hot you can't even touch them. But that's what stepper motors do. But they're basically like a big old heat sink anyway. So, I mean, yeah, they get warm, but that's because they got current going through them. So I wouldn't be, you know, unless it's just, you know, unless you can fry an egg on it, I wouldn't be overly concerned. And I tell that to everybody. They always like, man, what, you know, they'll put heat sinks on them and stuff. You can do that if you want to. You can cut you know, get you an aluminum heat sink and strap that sucker on there or whatever if you want to. But I have never done that. And like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I have never had a stepper motor fail. It's always something else. Drivers will fail, stuff like that. Stepper motors just get hot. They're pretty much indestructible, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, like the only other real way to increase or to decrease the heat, and I mean, like you said, it's because of the amperage, would be to increase the voltage that you've got going through to them. So, but that is like a total overhaul on your whole setup. So,
yeah,
you know,
well, I mean, you could.
A 24 volt, a 36.
The easiest way is
volt,
if you're worried about them getting too hot, is just to set the setting on the
Amperage.
driver one step lower or whatever. But you should be trying to match that with whatever your motors, you know, the specs for your motors are and your drivers. You should be trying to match that and get it to where it should be. But I can tell you the stepper motors are still going to get hot because that's what they do. They get hot. John says, did you receive my email this week on the project of the dash? I did. We'll probably show that next week because somebody else sent me some. I can't remember who it was. Somebody else sent me some pictures of something too. So I may show them either next week or maybe the week after. Maybe we'll see if, you know, people get more pictures in here or something. We'll show them. But yeah, I did get them, John. Let's see this last question. Harry Ragland says it might be interesting to poll the viewers about multi-tool projects. Some of mine will use 2 tools, but most just use 1 tool. How involved are the viewer projects? I could set a poll up in the I think I can do that in my community tab on YouTube, or I could do it on Facebook. But I don't like to do stuff like that on Facebook because if I do it in the groups, it's just Gatton CNC and GarageWorks CNC. It's not. I can't do a poll in somebody else's group. I don't think. I know when I run Gatton CNC kits, I use one tool, and that's by design because, as y'all know, I don't sit out here and watch it. I'm either in there at the office doing something on the computer, or I'm soaking up some AC, sitting right through this door in my recliner, listening to this machine. I may not be watching it, but I'm listening. And I have one tool just so that I don't have to worry about, doing something and go, oh man, the thing stopped. It's been stopped for 10 minutes waiting on the tool change. It just does it all. That's the way I roll. All right. I guess we've been on here about an hour and 20. I don't see any more questions. I'm going to go ahead and click all these off here.
Well, we just lost Brian.
Y'all let me know, like this hairy fella, not the hairy watching, but another hairy fella. If you have something you want me to show, send me an email or contact me, DM or something, and I'm happy to show it. Like I said, I think if that hairy does come back and watch this, I think you'll know how easy it is to switch it to home the other direction. So, all righty. Well, I guess we're going to get out of here then.
One last thing. This was from earlier. Paul was showing his lantern, right?
Okay. Got you, Hamilton. Just, you know how to get a hold of me, buddy. Just,
I made it just for Dave.
All right. Let's,
because he hadn't seen very many.
I hadn't seen one of those in a few minutes, probably.
Okay, there you go.
I make fun of those things, but only because it's like everybody and their brother is doing them. I'm not.
Oh, look at there now. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
that's
Mr. Keylight guy. Cool. Look at him.
Look at the center.
Oh boy, what a suck up.
Yeah. Now they're pretty cool, and I guess they must be a big seller because, like I said, everybody and their brother is making them. So,
I think that one's the spookiest.
Yep.
I can't even read that one.
You can't read it.
Yeah.
Oh, Hobby CNC with yeah, he is sucking up, isn't he? Yeah, I couldn't read it without my glasses. I just saw that. Okay, yeah.
That's good.
What a suck up.
Gotta have some fun. Excuse me.
All right, guys, let's I guess we're going to get out of here. I don't see any more questions. Ryan hadn't got any more tag. Hopefully y'all got something out of this. Like I said, I will as soon as I get off here, I will add that link to that video, which is much easier to watch, but it's basically the same thing. Now, if you want to know how to do the first thing I showed, you'll have to watch this probably because I don't know if I've done a video on that or not. But my Gatton CNC, that's how I had it home. I had it home to the back and to the right, just the opposite of this one, which comes forward and to the left. Anyhow, we're going to get out of here. Thanks again to Cody for sponsoring the Genie Bit live drawing thing. You're an awesome dude. And I guess that's it. Anybody got anything they want to say before we get out of here? While I find the button.
Have a wonderful Labor Day.
Thanks, everybody. Make sure you, if you're not subscribed to Hamilton Dilbeck's YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and watch all of the videos he's putting out this month.
Yeah. He's going to be doing one every day. I'm anxious to see if he can make it. But he's 3 for 3 so far, so should be able to do it. All right, Sean, Ryan, Paul, thank y'all, and we will see y'all next week. Everybody have a great weekend. Happy Labor Day.